Pop quiz. You invest $1,000 a month for 20 years. You put in $240,000, blue box. The market at 10% compound interest will add $520,000, green box. Total, $760,000. Not bad. Now, let's double the time to 40 years. You double your work and put in $480,000. So, does the total double too? What is your final number? A. $1.5 million. B. $3.0 million. C. $6.3 million. The answer is C. You only put in $480,000, but the compound interest exploded to $5.8 million. Your effort was linear. The math was exponential. This is the psychology of money. 1. Being smart with money isn't the point. My friend has a finance degree, knows compound interest like it's a superpower, can explain inflation at dinner parties like he's hosting a TED Talk. Still somehow broke by the 25th of every month. Meanwhile, someone I know who doesn't even like spreadsheets quietly invests in boring index funds and sleeps peacefully. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Money success isn't about IQ. It's about behavior. You don't fail financially because you can't calculate returns. You fail because you panic, or flex, or compare yourself to someone on Instagram holding a rental Lamborghini. Money decisions aren't made in spreadsheets. They're made in emotions, fear, ego, impatience. The smartest person in the room can still sabotage himself if he can't control his reactions. We like to think wealth is about knowledge. Most of the time, it's about self-control. Being financially successful isn't about being brilliant. It's about not being reckless repeatedly. 2. Your money story started before you knew it. Someone I know refuses to invest because the market always crashes. Another person I know thinks investing is basically a cheat code because it always goes up. Both are completely confident. Both grew up in very different economic moments. That's the thing about money. Your beliefs about it didn't start with logic. They started with what you saw as a kid. If you watched your parents stress about bills, money might feel dangerous. If you grew up during booming years, money might feel easy. The problem is, personal experience feels like universal truth, but it's not. It's just your tiny slice of history. Two people can look at the same opportunity and react completely differently, not because one is smarter, but because their past is louder. You're not reacting to the economy, you're reacting to your childhood. 3. Getting rich and staying rich are two different games. Someone I know made a lot of money very fast. New car, new watch, new attitude. For a few months, he walked like background music followed him. Then the market shifted. Suddenly, the music stopped. Making money takes boldness, risk, confidence, and sometimes even luck. But keeping money requires something less exciting: restraint, patience, and the ability to say no when everyone else is shouting, double it. One big win can change your bank account. One bad decision can erase it. Most people obsess over making money. Very few practice protecting it. They chase acceleration but ignore survival. And survival is what keeps you in the game long enough to win. Making money is a moment. Keeping money is a discipline. 4. Enough is a financial superpower. I once told myself, if I make this much, I'll finally relax. I hit the number. For about 3 days, I felt powerful. Then suddenly, I needed a bigger number. New goal, new target, new stress. The problem isn't ambition. It's the moving finish line. There's always someone richer, faster, shinier. If you don't define what enough means for you, comparison will define it for you. And comparison never stops. Without limits, success becomes a treadmill. You run harder, earn more, upgrade everything, and still feel behind. The money grows, but so does the anxiety. The goalpost keeps moving because you never planted it. Greed rarely looks like greed. It usually looks like just a little more. 5. Saving isn't boring, it's power. A friend of mine used to think saving money was for people who hate fun. Live a little, he'd say. Then one day his car broke down, his rent was due, and suddenly that boring savings account became the most attractive thing in his life. Saving isn't about becoming rich overnight. It's about buying breathing room. When you have savings, you don't panic at every surprise. You don't cling to bad jobs out of fear. You don't say yes to things you secretly want to refuse. Money gives you options. Savings give you control. The person with no savings reacts to life. The person with savings negotiates with it. That difference changes how you walk into rooms, how you handle stress, and how you make decisions. Saving doesn't make you flashy. It makes you dangerous in a calm way. 6. Time is the real cheat code. Someone I know has been about to invest for the last 6 years. Every month, there's a new reason to wait. The market feels high, or low, or unstable, or suspicious. Meanwhile, someone else just started small, stayed consistent, and stopped trying to be a genius. The uncomfortable truth? Compounding doesn't reward brilliance. It rewards patience. You don't need perfect timing. You need durability. Small amounts invested regularly don't look impressive at first. They feel slow, almost boring. But time is quiet and ruthless. It multiplies consistency. It forgives small mistakes. It turns discipline into leverage. The problem is that time doesn't feel powerful today. It feels invisible, so people underestimate it and chase faster wins instead. Most people try to outsmart the market. The smart ones outlast it. 7. Wealth is what you don't see. Someone I know drives a loud car and posts vacation photos like he's sponsored by success. Another person I know dresses normal, stays quiet, and somehow never stresses about money. Guess who sleeps better? Wealth is mostly invisible. It's the money not spent, the upgrades not made, the impulse buys resisted. Flashy spending gets attention. Quiet saving buys options. One looks impressive, the other feels peaceful. We confuse looking rich with being rich. Looking rich is expensive because it demands constant proof. Being rich is boring because it's built in private, investing, keeping a buffer, living below your means, ignoring the comparison game. Someone I've met told me, I stopped trying to impress people who don't pay my bills. That's the shift. Spend less on signals, more on freedom, and your future starts breathing. If it photographs well, it probably costs you. If it feels calm, it's probably wealth. 8. Money is emotional before it is mathematical. Someone I know swears he's a rational investor, calm, logical, disciplined. Then the market drops 20%, and suddenly he's refreshing his portfolio like it's a heart monitor. Logic disappears, emotion takes over. Money decisions feel mathematical, but they're usually emotional. Fear makes you sell too early. Greed makes you buy too late. Comparison makes you spend when you shouldn't. None of these show up wearing warning labels. They feel reasonable in the moment. The tricky part is that emotions don't announce themselves. They disguise themselves as smart decisions. I'm just being cautious. I'm just taking advantage. Meanwhile, your pulse is deciding for you. The person who wins long-term isn't the one who knows the most formulas. It's the one who stays steady when everyone else is losing control. If this made you realize your biggest investment problem isn't the market, it's your behavior, follow for the next one.